Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a really important deep subject, which is feeling victimized by the universe, not understanding the tests that you're being given. Watch this video. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notification when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Just to remind you, we are opening the doors to my Truth Room membership. We meet every single Friday. We might be changing the time right now because I am now on the East Coast. But for now, you can check the link below, Truth Room, and you can join us, a community of like-minded souls, awakening souls, conscious beings, highly sensitive people who are finding their empowerment all around the world. We've had this group for over 4 years. We are a collective family. We are a support system. Many of you have felt like you were born to the wrong family or on the wrong planet. Join us. So let's go into this subject matter today about feeling victimized by the universe. First, I have to apologize. We just moved into this new house, so I do not have my office set up yet, but I couldn't wait any longer to get back to you guys. And my goal moving forward, so you can hold me accountable, is to do a video every single day and see how that works out. So we're starting here. So feeling victimized by the universe. What does that mean? So often, I remember when I was a teenager and I started to have these understandings, right? I think that a lot of us feel like we were born with our third eye open. We were born on the wrong planet, meaning we kind of thought more holistically, more 5D, and we were stuck in this 3D reality. And what happened a lot of the times is we had to dim down our sensitivity, hide it in fact, or pretend we were wrong so that we could actually feel like we belonged to our tribe that wasn't so sensitive, that hadn't done a lot of the inner work, that were still projecting stuff onto us. When we don't have parents or authority figures around us that are pure in their self, meaning self-actualized, in their self-mastery, have done their inner work and are really authentic. When we don't have mirrors like that, we get confused about who we are. And we find ourselves around that collective, we tend to dumb ourselves down or live in a upper limits issue, meaning not live in our authentic potential and forget what that is, just so that we don't have to feel that pain of being different. That's where I want to start, because that's where we get very confused about the universe and how it works. So often people come to me and they're like, I'm being tested. I just got to this next level and the universe did this to me. I'll give you an example. I remember when I had my spiritual awakening on my 16th birthday, and I remember coming into this new identity. I grew up with a lot of shame, feeling wrong, feeling bad, feeling different, just because my tribe was just didn't understand me. I was very misunderstood with all my sensitivities and my ability to like talk to angels, all of that stuff, see ghosts in the doorway. It wasn't shared by many around me, so I was the weird kid, right? But what's funny about it is I started coming into this new identity of, wait, I'm going to use this ability for me, because I had a lot of insight and I had a lot of feelings of deep synchronicity and alignment. And I knew that my dreams were meant to be had and I would go after them and it would happen. And it was just this amazing thing that I started to use for me. And right when I got to that point as a teen where I was like, oh my gosh, I know my authentic self. I know who I am. What we forget is it's not yet fully anchored, because we're still very much reliant on external cues. When we don't grow up with that anchor, that family who says, you're valid, you're amazing, your emotions make sense. When we don't have that, which most of us don't on a consistent basis, we very much so look outside of ourselves and look at the things that are happening in our environment to know our worth, which is super scary. To know our value, to know it's okay to love ourselves, to feel valid, to feel like there's a shared reality, right? And so when we don't have that, we look externally. So we think that we know who we are, but we know who we are based on things working for us. When things start working against us, we're like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? You know what I'm talking about. And so when I was 16 and I was like, oh my gosh, I really loved myself. And I was like, I know who I am. I know my gifts. I know my difficulties, whatever, I'm okay with it. Right when I started to feel non-self-rejecting. I started to not reject myself. I started to love myself, really try to go after the things that I wanted, seeing a lot of really amazing things happen in my life. At that moment, I felt a huge rejection in my life. And I remember thinking the same thing. Many of you come to me and ask, and I thought, why is the universe doing this to me? I just found who I was. Why is it taking it away? Am I wrong about who I think I am? Our biggest fear is being powerful, right? So maybe I'm wrong. External cues, right? Which is totally normal. And what I learned through diving deep into spiritual law and how the heck this works, right? What I learned is the universe only will ever reflect your projection of it. So if I'm afraid that I might be rejected and I feel a rejection, I think the universe is doing it to me. Now, let me tell you the truth. The universe knows your worth. The universe made you worthy. The universe knows you're worthy. The universe would never in a million years think that you deserve to be rejected, but you think that, right? So I'm going to show you an experience. If I would have said, I know I'm not rejectable. I know there's nothing wrong with me. I wonder why I'm experiencing this. Maybe that person is jealous of me. Maybe there's something going on over here that I know nothing about. The truth is it's never personal. We make it personal based on the parts of ourselves that need to be strengthened. The parts of ourselves that need to believe in ourselves more. The parts of ourselves that need to understand the essence of the universe more. So what I learned after a really difficult time was that I was never rejected. I actually wasn't. What I learned many, many, many years later was kind of the opposite. There was a jealousy going on, but I didn't know my worth enough, let's say, at that time. So I took it as the universe is doing this to me. So here's my best example of that. If I'm someone who's really confident, who knows what she is in the world, who knows her purpose in the world and knows that it's valid and knows that it's helpful and knows that her service makes sense, if someone's rejecting me, I'm saying, well, obviously they're not aligned with me. Obviously they're having a bad day. If I feel insecure in any way or I'm uncertain of my identity in any way and there's any ounce of doubt, which is our biggest downfall, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, is that an external sign? Is that someone telling me I'm wrong about me? Do you see how different that is? We're open to people knocking down our identity when we're not fully anchored. If you're fully anchored, that ain't going to bother you. And you're going to know the universe isn't doing that. Think about it. When you line up your thoughts of self with what the universe thinks of you, which is worthy, there's not going to be room for a negative emotion. If I'm thinking I'm unworthy, I'm feeling scared and weird because it's not agreed upon by the universe. So I had a client who was like, Candace, I've done all this inner work. Why didn't I get the job? Is the universe telling me I don't deserve it? Am I wrong about thinking that I deserve it? And I go, the universe didn't do that. This is what she needed to think. You didn't get the job because there's probably something better. My creed is this or something better because I know my worth. I know all of your worth. And here's a very important piece of this puzzle. When you grow up with parents that haven't done any inner work, which is most of us, they're not mirroring back to you a sense of worth, and they can't allow you to feel your deep worth when they didn't. If there's inner child wounds in your parent, they're going to be triggered when you're shining and they didn't allow themselves to and they didn't get to. It is true. Think about it. So when I'm in this space of I feel pretty darn self-actualized at this age, in this place in my life, I want nothing more than all my clients to be super self-actualized. And that's why this coaching works, because I'm mirroring to your potential of what you are here to do, of the truth of you. And it feels right to you, resonate with it. It's an external source that is pure. But there are so many external sources in the world that are not pure, that are projecting their own unhealed wounds onto you. And if you have a match to that wound, you're going to take it on as your identity. You're going to take it on as evidence that I'm not worthy. I need to mention this right now because it is a new thing. I Am Worthy, my new 12-week course, is on demand right now. You can take it right now at a half the price. Right now. Dive in. If you have worth issues and you think the universe in any way is trying to test you to see if you still think you're worthy, that's not what it is. It's the universe showing you where you're at. If something is triggering you, it's not because the universe is slapping this test at you. It's because you're being tested to see if you've learned your worth. And if I have learned my worth, I'm in the face of adversity, I'm not going to take that personal because I already am very sure of my worth. I'll be like, what else could it be? Just like our childhoods. When you were treated less than good, it was not a reflection of you. It was a reflection of your parents' inability to claim their own worth, to be able to treat you with the worthiness that you deserved. So what we grow up with when we have unhealed parents is we grow up with this feeling that I don't know what I deserve. And even though I desire these things, I don't know I deserve them. So I don't fully put all my energy into manifesting, which will be another video soon. I feel like I'm a pretty damn good instant manifester these days because my energy is 100% in. And people say, how can you do that? How can you go all in when there's evidence that it might not be right? And I say the evidence does not matter to me. It's me and God. It's me and the universe that create. There's going to be a lot of things against my creation, but I know what has the most power. And if I give my power to externals, that will have power over me. If I take it back and I give all my power to me and the source that created me, I got this. So if I go all in and something doesn't work out, it doesn't mean I was wrong or I don't deserve it. It means the universe says there's a different timing or there's something better. So we have to upgrade our idea of this source energy that supports us and protects us at all times. If we choose to believe in it, you are so powerful with your free will. You can either line it up with higher will and go all in, or you can line it up with free will, and that's really janky. It's uncertain. Sometimes you'll feel good, sometimes you'll feel bad, sometimes you'll be on a roller coaster of emotion. I'm not on a roller coaster of emotion. I know who I am no matter what happens in the world. I've been through way too many things to say I'm not, right? Losing a house, having a divorce, losing a pet, moving cross country 2 weeks ago. All these things are always changing, but who I am doesn't, because it's anchored in the truth of who I am. Also, if you guys are having issues knowing the truth of who you are, I encourage you to check out Emotional Rehab. Our live class starts November 1st with me for 12 weeks. You get 40 plus videos on your own of lessons, EFTs, inners, guided meditations, inner child work, but you also get me to guide you through it live. I would check that out. I created that course first because that was the first piece of the puzzle is who am I and how do I know that in this world, right? If you have any shame or uncertain identity as a child, you need to understand that the rehabilitation of your true emotional self is how we come into the true self. After that, I suggest you do shadow work because you got to do the mother wound, the father wound, and the tribal injuries. If you're highly sensitive like me, you are the one that is going to break those tribal patterns by being the difference, right? And after that, you're going to do I Am Worthy. If you've done a lot of my work before, you've watched a ton of videos, or you've coached with me, you can jump right into I Am Worthy. But I have to mention that because it's happening now. The last thing I want to say about this is I do these small, tiny group coachings of 3 people called Inner Work. Inner Work 1 is about emotional wounds, narcissistic abuse, codependent patterns. Inner Work 2 is about trauma bonds and abandonment wounds. You don't have to take one to do the other, but I suggest you start with one. If you want to dive right into abandonment wounds and trauma bonds, you can start with level 2. We're starting soon. All links below. What else can I tell you guys? I love you guys. The universe has your back, but you have to trust that source over your ego/free will. When we line up our free will with higher will, and we start to treat ourselves like the universe knows we are worthy, our life comes together super beautifully. More on that soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share it with at least one person you think it could help, and I will see you very soon.